I have 5 self-defense moves that are very, very simple to show you guys here. These are great. Everybody should know them. Kids, adults alike, men, women, doesn't matter who you are. These are kind of the starting points for self-defense, for martial arts and jiu-jitsu. We need to know how to stand. We need to know what to do if we're caught on the ground. These are some very simple self-defense moves that you'll see from relatively pretty common situations. You'll see it with little kids. You'll see it in sport. And definitely something you want to make sure you have an answer for. And these are moves that you should be able to watch a video and get a really good grasp of what you need to do. Of course, come on down and we'll even show you in person how to make it a little bit better and a little bit more effective so you have a lot more fun with it. Okay, so watch a video, have fun, we'll see you soon. Okay, so the first one that we're going to be working on here is how to escape a wrist grab. It's really important because you need to have good base. So I have Erin here. If I grab her wrist, she's going to step away, so now it's harder for me to hang on to her. She's going to join her hands together and pull them up to her far shoulder. And all she's doing is just clapping her hands. So again, I grab her wrist. She is going to base away, and you can see it shifts my weight forward. So now if Erin stands with her feet a little closer together, and I grab, when she steps away from me into a bigger base, bigger, good. Now it's going to start to make me lean. Or I'll fight, we'll have a battle of the bases, as it were. So that grab, she bases away, so I'm going to lean, she joins her hands, and now her hand is going to go between my thumb and my finger and pull up. If I switch and I grab with the other hand, nothing changes. She bases away, she grabs, and she pulls her hand up. If I grab with 2 hands, the same thing. Nothing changes, and she pulls up again. And if I grab with 1 hand on each of her arms, she bases, hands together, and she pulls up. So it's something very, very consistent there. They all have a good base, and they all pull the arm up to the far side. So let's grab a little bit harder now. And I pull Erin. Yeah, now she's got a good base, but she almost got slapped in the face, so she want to make sure the hands go to the far side. Don't hit yourself in the head. Of course, that could potentially happen. If I grab with 2 hands, a little bit stronger. Now, to make it a little bit better for Erin, she's going to try to make sure her elbow doesn't get separated from her hip. She wants to try and keep this elbow tighter, 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 right there. Nice and close. So now she's relaxed. When I grab her right away, she's stepping back with her base. Elbows caught in. She doesn't want to go and get stretched out like this. This is going to be very awkward for her to escape. Okay, she's going to be off balance. If my hand is down, this is a slightly different grip. So palm up are a majority of grips. Okay. But I might grab palm down. If I do, she's going to take her elbow and just touch it to my forearm and pull her hand out. Okay, so she'll strip out the other way. And that is a pretty cool one, just like Erin said. He's like, oh, cool. It's a little bit more common, not so much here, because this is something a friend would do. Like, Erin, we're getting out of here. And she pulls her arm away. But it's more likely in this position. Erin doesn't know this one, but this is really good. She'll bring her elbow up, same thing, elbow in, and then she could potentially elbow me in the head. So this is a good self-defense one to know. So we just pull hand up and elbow across. Same thing that's here. She just picks aside and she goes for it. So wrist grabs, really important. You get a nice base, so she'll step away into base and strip the grip. And I don't know if you can see, but her hand is already getting nice and red here. I'm not being nice with the grips. Okay, so that's a really important one to practice, is having a solid base where I can't really push you. So if Erin goes into her base, I can't pull her, I can't push her, can't push her down. She's very strong here. So that's something to practice, and then bring the hands to the far shoulder. Okay? Have fun with that one. Okay, so next now we're going to deal with what if somebody bear hugs you over the arms. So if I get a bear hug over Erin's arm, she wants to try and disconnect our hips. I'm trying to join the hips together, so maybe I'm going to lift her up, move her away, or maybe I just hold her still. So she wants to create space. So the first thing she's going to do is get her hands on my hips. She's going to push away, and now my head's on this side, so Erin's going to run around and duck out. So again, we want to do simple things, and this is a nice evasive one. So I have Erin again. When I grab, it's hard for her to turn her hips out to the side her head is on. She's going to get stuck there, especially if I'm bigger than her. But to go the other way is much easier, and I'm kind of falling into her. Her hand, we'll go on this side so you can see, this hand is on my hip. Okay? So as she walks around, if I try to face her, her hand is straight. She can keep me away as she ducks out. So again on this side, the bear hug, she pushes away, and she ducks her head out, so now she's behind me, right? From this angle again, here, hands from the hip, and ducks out. So she just wants to get an angle behind me. So this is really, really important. We can't let the hips get together. If they do, it's going to be much more challenging because I'll lift her in the air. Okay, so now instead of the front attacks, which are a little bit easier, at least you can see them happening, even though they're a little bit stronger. The next one is the rear bear hug over the arms. And that one can be a little tricky because you don't know exactly when it's going to happen. So when I bear hug Erin, she's going to drop into her base. She pushes her hips into me and she's going to duck out behind me. Now, it might not look so obvious from the front, but from the side, if Erin drops into her base, but she doesn't push her hips in, I can lift her up very, very easily. But when she pushes her hips back, it bends me over and it creates space for her to slide her hips out and then get behind me. Now, if you watch what she do with her hands, this will help. When she bases, her hands come up, which creates a little bit of space between her elbow and her hip. That's going to help a lot to get out. Sometimes if you're a little taller, you get stuck with your elbows pinned. So we really want to try when you drop into your base, hands out and back, butt back a little bit. So again, I grab, good, she's got me bent over, and it doesn't really matter which side she goes, it's just whichever side feels a little bit easier. So if she's facing this way, base, and she ducks out so she's behind me. It might appear like I can get her in a bear hug, in a headlock, but as she goes, her head will slip out. It's very awkward for me to try and switch to a headlock. One more time from the side. She bases forward, and she ducks out. So you make sure you have that base with your hips back, hands up, and then just sit and duck out. One last time. Good. There you go. Have fun with that. Okay, so we did a little bit of stuff standing versus some basic grabs. Now we want to get to some things on the ground. If I get on top of Erin, how is she going to get up and get away? So Erin's down. And a really common one from like schoolyard, you get somebody sitting on top of you in a mount position. Now I'm going to be nice with this one. I'm going to put my hands on their shoulders. And just like with the other moves, there's always lots of variations of things, but these are the simplest ones to do. Then we have ones that are maybe a little bit more deal with throwing, deal with striking. These are the simple ones that are not going to hurt your partner or yourself. So I'm going to hold on to Erin's shoulders. She's going to grab my wrist and she's going to go behind my elbow. Her elbow's in front of my knee. She traps my foot. So now my hand is caught, my elbow's caught, and my foot is caught. She bridges up and knocks me over. If I try to follow her up, she's going to get away from me. So I'm trying to hang on to her. She starts getting away and she's just going to sit up and knock me away. Okay? So, back. Down, try again. Okay, starting with the mount, whether it's a grab, I'm grabbing her shirt, I'm grabbing her neck, I'm going to make it nice and easy right now, I'm grabbing her shoulders, she traps my arm, traps my elbow, she traps my foot. So all 3 points are trapped on one side, she bridges up, and I got to be careful, I don't hit my head, follow up, and she stands. So it's really easy to get away from this one as well, especially if I try to chase her as she sits up. Well, one more time, we'll go nice and slow. Sitting on her, I'm grabbing her, she traps me, bridges, lifts her hips off the floor, knocks me over, and then she's up and away. Very, very simple one. Watch Erin do it solo so you can see that bridge. So, hands are in, foot's trapped, and she's going to lift her hips up in that direction to get to her knees, and then immediately start pushing to get outside the guard. Okay? Have fun, guys. Okay, so now for our last one, Erin's on her back, she's got her legs wrapped around me. So if you ever end up on your back, this is the best place to be in with your legs wrapped around because Erin can control me with her legs. So if I'm grabbing her wrists, she's going to bring her knees together, hips come up, feet are on my hips, and she's going to kick away and then stand up right away. So again, we go from a little bit of a side here. Whatever I'm doing, I might be holding on to her wrists. She opens her guard, puts her knees on my chest, feet on my hips, and kicks me away to get back to her feet right away. So there you go. You got your 5 simple and effective self-defense moves. Now, it might seem a little bit too easy, and you know what? They are actually very, very easy to do. But of course there's layers, you know, we can always add extra stuff in, and you might think like, oh, I wanted to punch and kick and knee and elbow and throws and all the fun stuff, which is a lot of fun, and we do have that when the moves kind of escalate. But for the beginners, for the basics, these are where you start from. And if these two moves don't work for you, then we adapt them and we start putting in the strikes, we start putting into the throws, because of course that makes it a little bit more effective. But of course the situation dictates, you know, we don't want children, of course, punching, kicking, throwing. It can be a little bit dangerous for both sides. These are moves that will keep you, your family, your children safe. If they do it, they're less likely to get in trouble for liability reasons. So it's we want to work on evasive tactics. Get away, get away, get away. Of course we do train all the other stuff with striking and the throws. Those are really important and you have to know those things, but this is the starting point. So I hope you had fun with these moves. If you want to come down and try out the classes, you get 30 days free. You can try the moves out and we'll work through them. If you have any questions about it in the video, or like, oh, I don't understand how this move worked, or I don't think it'll work that way for me because I'm tall, short, strong, thin, whatever it might be, we can show you how to adapt the moves so they will be more functional. Okay, so I hope you had fun and we'll see you soon.